Blast off.
One. Hey everybody, welcome to the No Fluff, No Gimmicks Raw podcast for entrepreneurs, specifically real estate investors. We are the Golden Ticket Podcast. Check us out at thegoldenticketpodcast.com. I'm your host, Mr. Jesse Davis.
I'm your
And
co-host, Mr. Jason Carroll. I got a question. So they see your name, Jesse Davis. Did they only see my name as Jason?
yeah, because you said you wanted to be like incognito. You didn't want to give your socials out. You kind of want to be hidden behind the scenes.
Okay, I get it. I get it. How
I
you
don't know
doing,
why
man?
that is. That's how you
Yeah.
registered. Man, we were sitting here talking about some stuff, just daily stuff. You said you're working with your daughter, trying to clean her room out. Man, I've just been,
I'm
and you,
cleaning my daughter's room. Yeah.
that's what you did today. And you're talking about some other acquisition stuff. But
Yeah,
man, I've
yeah,
just
yeah.
been daily stuff, man. It's so hot here. I'm sure it's hot everywhere in the U.S.,
Oh,
but
God, yeah.
95 degrees right now. I'm so grateful I work inside and just, man, just trying to chip away and kind of not trying to get down on your lulls and like when things aren't working. But I went to an event on Friday, last Friday in Dallas, creative title event. Justin Latif and Zach Kopinger, which are two operators who live in Dallas. And it was nice, man. It was 75 people. It cost me $300 a ticket, which is dirt cheap to be in that
Yeah,
small
no
of a
kidding.
room. And it was tight, but it was 8 hours long. Got to eat, went to a barbecue place afterwards. Had some barbecue. We talked, got some numbers, spoke with some people, some high
Nice.
level. I like going to those things afterwards. I feel like people kind of let loose a little bit. I
Oh,
can really
yeah.
talk to some high level. I think really, like I was telling you, networking. So it was good. It was good. I mean, for the 3.5 hour drive, I spent $100 on a room at Airbnb, and then $300 for a ticket, and then some barbecue. Um, it was pretty cool. I mean, it really
Yeah.
kind of got my juices flowing again because you get kind of like, all right, these guys are doing it. This is what they're going through. These guys are making this. I mean, they were saying that one. Justin was saying his first deal they did was $326,000 in profit, and they only had like maybe one or two errors. They got killer of a deal, So it
I
doesn't
mean,
happen every
obviously,
day.
that's a unicorn. You should.
Yeah, exactly. No, that's what I'm saying. But other people in the room just, trying to get pumped up because people were saying, oh, I got this deal. I'm doing this right now. And it's a long process. But the thing is, they probably got that deal because I was talking about efficiency in a business. Like the longer you do something, the better you're at it. So
Yeah.
I'm not, I might get lucky and get one of those deals, but the chances are not as likely as they are because they're probably hitting a lot more leads than I am because their
Sure.
process is a lot more smoother than mine.
Right.
And they're more experienced at doing these deals
Yeah.
because I was, sending out the contract because it's when you send out the pay package, that's what they call them. It's a lot of forms. It can be. I don't know how they're getting these signed with the notary. Like I was even asking, I was like, dude, I've sent two out and people won't get their attorneys to look at it. Then they get scared, and he's like, we just, but their process is really good. So, anyways, but yeah, it's pretty cool. They got my juices flowing again. I'm not trying to get down on my shelf and just get to work. Stick to the basics, right? Stick to the
Which
basics.
brings me to our topic today, which is how to get those reps in, how to get the offers out, how to actually get great. How's that sound? You know to get
I
great?
like that. Get great. Yep.
Yeah,
Good to great, right? That book.
yeah, very true, very true. How, this is an open-ended question. I mean, you know the answer. Maybe some people listening or watching us don't know the answer, but I'll put the ball in your court to kind of open it up, and then I've got some fruit for thought. But so
Okay.
you're rewinding the clock, let's call it a year and a half, 2 years, getting going, just starting in the land business, knowing what you know now. Okay. And for the sake of not confusing anybody in the audience, let's just talk about land in general, not
Mm-hmm.
the niche that you're focused on today. We're
Yeah.
just saying
Sure. That's fine.
general. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going
That's
to
what I was
open up.
thinking.
Yeah, I'm going to open up the forum for what you know now, and maybe giving your 2 cents, and then I'll give my 2.5 cents.
Okay. Knowing what I know now, what I didn't know before, I guess I've been doing the wholesaling houses before, so I knew basically the same thing. Like send a
I
bunch
was
of
just
offers
about to
out.
say same thing. Same thing.
Send as many offers as you can. Now, that is what you do, but it's the process. That's the easy part, is sending the offers. I think getting the leads and sending the offers is super easy. I think I think the afterwards, replying to people, it's the sales process after that. For me personally, I mean, you can automate it, getting leads. I mean, you can mail, text, cold call, you can automate that. Send offers to anyone who says yes, they want to offer. I mean, that's what I was doing. I was trying to hit as many individuals as possible. Um, but what I know now, what I didn't know before, what I didn't really pay attention to before was the after that, when they would say, yes, I want to offer. And then the communication after the offer, because offer is going to be low. And then, hardly anyone was just a lay down. And then, so was the conversation afterwards and trying to nurture that. And then leaving it, if you had to leave the conversation because they weren't going to accept the offer, no matter what you did, being able to leave it in a good way so you could come back to them later on with a follow up. And those follow ups to be, I don't know, not so automated, but not so where they're annoying, because I got a lot of people that would respond. They were automated text follow ups.
Sure.
I've already told you. I'm not saying, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, wasn't working.
Yeah.
And also not doing. Well, this is another add on to that. I stopped doing follow ups on people who said they weren't interested. I stopped doing that because I was spamming people and they were just getting. I got nothing out of those. So I was like, It took me like 6 months to realize I got no deals from non interested. So left them alone and just moved on. So, but yeah, getting offers out, and I think the process after the offer, I think, is extremely important. But what about you?
You said everything.
What'd you say?
You said everything.
Okay. Typically talk too much.
Yeah, right. We start out in the business initially not knowing much other than what the course teaches you.
Mhm.
And I think the problem is most people don't 10x what the course is saying to do in the first place because they're trying to learn the business.
Mhm.
And you can't master something if you haven't done enough, as they say, reps in order to see what's working and what's not working. So naturally, we're already behind the eight ball, having not sent enough offers to begin with. So I say that to come full circle where how do we send out as many offers as possible? I'll tell you how, just to kind of reorganize what you said, which is you have the initial interest of someone via a text that says yes. Right off the bat, you've got people that need offers. So those are the low hanging fruit. Those are the layups of they said yes, you get an offer. So if you're not getting enough yeses, it tells you one thing. You need to get more data for starters,
Mhm.
especially if you're texting. Now you might be calling. All right. Maybe you're someone that likes to call people. So I would say anyone that's picking up the phone, even if they haven't initially said yes, they're interested. I think it goes without saying that while you and I are speaking, let's just I don't want to do role play with you here. I don't want to catch you off guard. But if I call
Oh,
you
okay.
up, Jesse Davis, as a homeowner or as a seller, you have a piece of land, and I'm like, hey Jesse, this is Jason with Home Sale Land. How you doing this afternoon?
I'm
Or
doing good. How about yourself?
good, good. I'm calling you because I think I might have reached out on a parcel of land that you have. You might not be looking to sell the property right now. But if you were, if we actually just looked at another parcel in the area that was for a range price, 10,000 and 15,000. If you were going to sell, would that be something you might be interested in?
Um, I kind of lost you there, but
Right.
maybe.
Sure. So now to go back to our conversation. So I bring that up to prove a point that you've got just a few seconds to speak to a cold person
Hmm.
to maybe engage them. So within that engagement, there's also an indirect offer.
Yep.
So that's what I would call an indirect offer. That's
Mm-hmm.
another one to add to your tool belt. So you've got people that might have raised their hand in the text.
Yep.
You got cold calls, and then you got direct mail. My favorite because they've replied. I think on average, you should on a daily basis be getting you should be getting out a minimum of 10 offers a day. What do you think about
Mm-hmm.
that number? Is that too low or too high?
I think that is if you're solo by yourself, it's going to take a little bit longer to get a deal. But yeah, I think 10 if you're by yourself. Yeah, if you can do 20, like you were
Ooh,
saying earlier, I think I was getting about 15 leads a day with 1,000 initial texts, 15 leads a day. Now, anybody that said yes, and then I'd have to filter those out because I didn't know what I was sending. It could be wetlands, lockland. I might be able to send it like half of that because usually half of them were trash.
yeah.
Um, so, but
It's worth mentioning that more than half are
are
trash.
trash. And then sometimes you don't. If you get, I'll tell you what I did, and you pointed out last year that land that had the power lines running through it, and
Oh yeah,
I had
remember that
sent,
one?
yeah, and I had sent out because you're like, what are you doing here? I'm like, dude, I had sent out so many offers, and so I was doing too much because I had
Yeah,
me and then the two other VAs. But I was doing too much, and I just didn't have my filter on. And then we locked it up. And then I told my VA, my acquisition guy, I was like, "Hey, this ain't gonna work, man. I'm sorry," but he's like, "Let's just see if we can." And I did it. I was like, "All right, let's just try." I guess. I mean, it's $100, about $250 out of pocket to list it and get some pictures. So I did. Nothing ever happened. So, but I like what you're saying about the range off because that's something my first deal. The first thing that we did was do that. Actually, we were sending out. You want to offer? Yes, and then we would send out a range offer of, hey, we typically will spend, um, we'll offer around this price range, and usually the low offer was. I think I still was doing that. The low offer was the wholesale, and then that was us actually buying it, or I guess that was the cash deal was the low one, and the higher one was the wholesale offer, which is to list it, and then I did the low, I did the whole, I did the cash offer so low that they would go for the wholesale. 'Cause I didn't want to buy it. I wanted to be able to
sure.
wholesale it because it would be easier. I have much capital, but
Yeah,
yeah, I like what you're saying though. You want to kind of you're getting the yes, and then if you're calling the phone or you're texting, you are getting that yes. Okay, well then here's what we typically pay, and then
yeah.
if you like that, we'll have a further conversation.
Hmm.
So you're saving yourself time. You're getting more offers out. I like what
Right.
you're saying is on point. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I think naturally we're looking for unicorns. Someone that's
Oh
gonna
yeah.
say, "Oh yes, I've been waiting for your phone call all day
Mm-hmm.
long. I'm interested. I love you. I love the sound of your voice. I want to do
Yeah.
business with you. I don't care what you're offering me.
Yeah.
Just let's do business." It's never like that.
Mm-mm.
It's not.
Even if it is, even if they do say yes, the first one, then it's also the seller could be complicated. They could be difficult to work with. A lot of factors come in after that can make the deal complicated. But
So,
typically, go ahead.
no, but I'm going to tell you about a deal that kind of, I know you like deal stories and,
We all do.
but no, finish your,
I was going to ask you if I was trying to figure out how many deals. We always talk about the first. It's hard to get a laydown. When we say a laydown, we mean someone who says yes to the first offer. Typically, that doesn't happen. You got to
ever.
follow up with them. So I'm trying to figure out how many deals. I only did like 5 last year. I'm trying to figure how many were laydowns. But I was just wondering, typically for you, what I guess
I'm
I don't
going
know
to
if you
tell
know
you
that.
over the course of last year, less than a handful were,
Okay.
when I say lay down, I would say there was more than one phone conversation, but I would say by the second or the third phone conversation, the proposal had been sent out and it had been executed. And obviously, I
Mm.
had the disposition time to having to sell it, but the acquisition part of it was fairly quick.
Got you. The ones I
So,
would say that were laydowns, they were complicated. They had title issues, small title issues, but they had title issues. So maybe that's the reason why.
yeah,
Um,
I'm going to tell you.
so
So, in the past week, I got 3 contracts executed.
nice. It's from mail
Yeah,
or what?
well, when they're nice, it must tell you what. Something's
Something.
up.
When you get too many
So,
leads, Well, you're
Something's
offering
up.
something's not right. Yeah, too
Um,
good to be true.
yeah, it's too good to be true. At least two of the three. Uh, but one of the three that looks as though I have to rescind the contract might just give me an opportunity to market the property on the MLS for 90 days. So initially,
Okay.
Christine had accepted my proposal. It was 10 acres, okay, perfect square for $50,000. And you're thinking, wow, $50,000 for 10 acres? There's a reason why it was $50,000 because that was high for that area
Oh.
where the actual strike price should have been closer to like between 27 and maybe 30.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that I could maybe list it for 40, 42.
Mm-hmm.
The point of the story was that Christine initially was one of the sellers that she wouldn't sell me a parcel of land without the mineral rights. And jokingly, I said to her, well, there's definitely no gold in that land. And maybe up north or central part of the country, but the only thing you're going to find 5 feet down is water. And unless you sell me those mineral rights with the land, I can't put a septic, I can't drill a well, I can't do anything. So the land is useless. Oh.
Really? You have
For
to have
those,
mineral rights to put a septic in?
no, but it sounded so good. And I
Oh,
told her,
okay.
well, because the thing is, mineral rights, I forget what the definition of how far down you have to go to actually be called mineral rights, but
Oh, gotcha.
technically is within the subsurface, which is below the surface.
Yeah, yeah.
So common sense just said, hey, listen, it's Florida. I need to put a septic. I need to put a well.
Yeah.
And if I can't sell, if you're not going to sell me the mineral rights and I can only use the surface, I can't really do much with it. We got over that hurdle. She executed the contract. So about 2 weeks go by, 3 weeks go by. Uh, and during that time, I will say that I'd spoken to her at least once a week, just kind of keeping her abreast. And that first week, I had shot it out to all of the lenders saying, hey, listen, what do you think this thing's worth? I got it under contract for 50. I think I could sell it for 65, 70. They all came back during the course of the week. They said, listen, 50 is your sale price for the market right now. That's a retail number. You're going to need this thing in the low 30s if you want us to fund it. So I go back to Christine. And again, unless you have the reps in and have spoken to enough sellers, this is a difficult conversation. And I said, Christine, I can't fulfill the terms of the contract. I'm going to have to rescind the contract. Pause. I didn't say anything. Let that deafening sound hit her.
Mm-hmm.
And then she eventually chimes in. She goes, why? And I says, well, and I told her the reason why is when we buy this land, I'm going to turn around and I'm going to resell it. And my numbers are not lined up. And the short of it is that by the time I put a septic, put a well, I pay these impact fees, have this land prepped and ready to go, even if I buy it and I have one of my mobile home partners come in to place a mobile home, there's a certain factor of how much the land has to be worth at the bare minimum in order for it to be profitable if you're buying it. And the long and short of it was that it couldn't be at that number. She actually heard that, and I said, "Oh, and I should go on by saying this, Jesse. She crossed out that part of my contract that would allow me to market the property on the MLS. So
Mm.
first, she didn't want to sell me the mineral rights, and then she wouldn't allow me to remarket the property. She
To wholesale
basically,
it.
right,
Yeah.
basically wanted me to buy the property and close. And I said, I can't do that. I'm not buying this property to hold it. I'm buying this property to make a profit. So I said, if I can't list it on the MLS, I'm out. I'd be happy to share in some of the profits above and beyond our contract price. But unless you give me that opportunity and I need 90 days, I need out of the contract. She said, well, listen, let me think about it. Give me a couple days and then we'll discuss it. So all that to say, there still might be potential. May not be much of a profit. And you hear all these guys, you say, listen, if I can't make 10, 15, 20,000, I'm out. Which I get. I get. But listen, and I'm sure you might feel the same way. Sometimes you have to do what you got to do to get deals done to pay the lights and keep the marketing going. You
Mm-hmm.
can't scrap every single deal that comes
No,
in.
no. Especially the wholesaling it, you're just gonna list it. It's pretty straightforward. It's not super overcomplicated.
No, but I'm sure on another phone call we can discuss how to speak to a realtor and tell him that you don't have the you don't have the
No.
contract.
Oh, you're talking about the buyer's agent?
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
that's a whole other ball wax.
Yeah, that is. We should talk about that. That's a good. Let's write that down for one of
Yeah,
our sub. That's you can lose buyers quick if you're not real quick, and
a
we'll
lot of
talk about it.
buyers.
Yeah.
A lot of buyers.
Um, but that's the thing. This is a lesson here I want to point out because
Sure.
you you gained from her. The reason she gave you and she's like, oh, let me think about it, and I'm sure it was very genuine. Is because you were honest with her. You broke down everything, and when you try to cover their eyes and be not dishonest, but try to be
Omit pretty pertinent facts.
I mean, some of the biggest deals I've ever gotten was because I actually my first wholesale deal I broke down exactly where my offer came from. Like, okay, this is before I gave the offer. Actually, I don't know where I got that. I think I just thought of it, but um, anyways, but I think being honest is really big. It gains a lot of credibility.
Yeah.
Credibility. I will say this. I like what you did. I'll tell you a mistake that I did that I lost a deal in Kentucky, and the guy
Tell
was
me.
just yeah. So I did the same thing, and we realized we had to come down some, like 5,000, and I told my acquisitions, but he what what we told him, which I shouldn't have said, was we're we need to be at this price, or we're gonna have to cancel the contract. And so he took that very offensively and was
Right.
really pissed off and like flipped a switch and was like, F you, screw you. I'm never selling. And I could not get him back on board. I called and
Oh,
talked
I
to him,
remember you telling me a
explained it
story
to
like
him.
that.
Yeah. And I think I made the mistake of telling my VA to say that. Like, I think it's the if we don't, it's like almost like he's a country guy. He almost took that as like
Sure.
a threat. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, anyways, but yeah, that's a good lesson. Oh, so how do we send 20 offers a day? If you're solo by yourself, you're doing this by yourself, what do you recommend someone to get those 20 offers out, efficiently? Let's say they have, let's say they have 4 hours a day, they're working full time, they're trying to get started. Um, they have a little bit of money, but I mean,
Yeah.
the most efficient way to do that,
Right.
do you
Right.
think?
I think that more than anything else, that you have to have a clear idea as to where your strength is. Meaning, can you be efficient on the phone for 4 hours? Because if you can, then it's a matter of, do you have enough data to call on? If you don't have the time to call, but you've got time for a system like SMS, can you back into it mathematically where you said it earlier, where if you're sending out a certain amount of text, you're going to get a certain amount of replies. And that's there's an industry standard
Yeah, for sure.
for how much needs to be sent out to get how many yeses.
Mhm.
And then the last one would be, can you download a list and literally make write up handwrite 20 envelopes
Mhm.
and put 20 proposals in mail? I know plenty of people that handwrite. Excuse me, I don't have the patience to handwrite 20 letters every single day.
Mhm.
I barely have the patience to call people.
Yeah. I think I think it comes down to how much do you have more time? Like they always say, do you have more time or more money?
Right.
You have both. That's great. 'Cause you don't have a lot of time, but you're gonna have to hire somebody to do your outbound or do what you said, do the mailing of the handwritten letters, which is, or do a mail house where they're going to mail the letters for you, because then you got to cut out a little bit of that.
Yeah.
There's so many things attached. Like if you do text messaging, you guys send a ton of text message to get so many yeses, to have so many yeses turn into contracts, and then so many
Sure.
contracts that turn to a deal that closes. Mail, you would say, would probably be a little bit less. So depends on what you have as far as, or PPC and stuff like that. Depends on what you have, but I think, yeah, I think reaching more individuals and getting more offers, and then being as efficient as you can on the back end of sending the
Hmm.
offer. But it's going to take time. I
Yep.
mean, maybe you're like me and you realize, like, that's not what I want to do. I want to do something else. Then you're kind of starting over again. That's kind of what I did. I kind of started over from square one, but had some experience. I've started over so many times. I mean, not so many times. I did wholesale in the houses, then land, and then now this. But every time you do that, you're kind of starting over. You get some experience,
Yeah.
but you're starting your whole process is over. Creating your processes is like the most important. That'll make you efficient. That'll make you get to more individuals, more offers, which will get you more contracts and get you more deals. It's just being as efficient as you can, which is all your processes.
Yeah.
That's what I believe in. I think every business is like that. Look at Chick-fil-A, McDonald's. Look at you have a Raising Cane's over there.
What is it?
That's a Raising Cane's, a chicken strip place.
No.
Okay, all they sell is chicken strips and fries, but they only
Okay.
have so many options. So you go in there, they have your food ready super quick. The food's
Yeah.
great. I'm just saying, like, they're super. They have, you know, like, the process is good. So, and they make a ton of money, I'm sure. But
I'm kidding.
anyways, well, I mean, anything else you want to add? Or, kind of said how we're going to send offers out. I mean, how to do it. If y'all have questions on where you should go next, what you should do next, I can help you, or Jason can help. Just
Right.
kind of
Well,
lead you down
before we
that
even kind of
path.
tail end on this one, I will tell you that getting offers out is, to be quite frank, the easiest part of this business.
Yeah,
I mean,
for
you
sure.
say a number, that's
Yep.
basically it. Say a
Hmm.
number, mail a number, text a number. The bigger part of the job is in knowing at that point in time that you're either all in and you've committed to the number because you know that number and you could stick to it, within reason. You're going to have some
Hmm.
sort of fluff in that number for negotiating. But then I think it really boils down to how to have a conversation.
Hmm.
At the end of the day, no matter what you do, calling, emailing, texting, uh, you're going to have to speak to someone. No one's just signing arbitrarily.
Yeah. Hmm.
I'd be nice, but we're not there yet. We're not there yet. And I think most of the battle is won in the connection that you establish with someone when you're talking to
Hmm.
them,
Hmm.
so that you could then get to the finish line. So if you have a hurdle and you need to price reduction, if you haven't solidified the relationship with the person on the phone, if there's an issue with pricing, it's going to be hard for to get a price reduction. You're not getting a
Yeah.
price reduction
Yeah.
if
Exactly.
the person just thinks you're an okay person and
Hmm.
just signed it for the sake of signing it. The minute there's an
Exactly.
issue, it's going to be like, okay, no problem. I'll find someone that wants it.
Yeah. Exactly.
They got to love
Hey.
you.
Yeah, they have to, and even then, it's still hard. Hey, I would like to, one point, we need to talk about
Sure.
some AI stuff. A lot of guys are talking about all this AI stuff. I'm really interested on how I can make it work for my business. But are you
Yeah.
looking at AI stuff at all? Have you looked at
Yeah.
anything or listened
Actually,
to some guys?
yeah, actually, um, a lot of the underwriting that's done now is being done via chat GPT by just uploading the information
Hmm.
with I'm drawing a blank, with the property assessor's card, along with just a handful of uh, hyperlinks that you grab from Zillow or Redfin in
Hmm.
terms of, and then speaking it to it and saying, hey, give me what the tell me what this property would be worth in this market based on the data that I've provided if I wanted to sell this property within the next 120 days, making a minimum of $10,000 based on the comparable properties that have recently closed on Zillow. Poof,
Dang. Yeah.
just like that. And then
Yeah.
it
Pretty
spits
cool.
out a full report. Oh God,
It's crazy.
you gotta
So
love.
there's a guy that I met the event. He's taken a tax delinquent list. He has AI. Actually, you know what? He didn't use AI. He was using he was using VAs. But I heard someone else say there's a guy named Charles Hernandez. I just heard his podcast on Logan's. He's a big wholesaler. Does these curative deals too. But he's coming out with the REI Labs, and basically can take a list. I mean, it can comp your property, just like you said, but like in a more mass, like a whole list, and kind of give you all the retail. Then I guess you could
Sure.
filter it for the bigger ones. But I actually tried to use AI. Man, it took me 2 hours, and I was just like, I'm done. I was
Yeah,
trying to get, AI because, okay, I made a mistake, I think, when I skip traced a list, because I'll still skip trace some of the lists just to find out who's deceased. But
yeah,
I forgot to I use direct skip. So on the bottom, there's three options. You can put, you got to have the last name and the mailing address, but at the bottom, you can put in whatever you want that's in a column. So I forgot to put in the account number. So everybody I looked up, I wasn't able to to look it up super quickly just on Land ID. I had to go to the tax assessor website. Anyways, I was basically trying to get AI to go to that website, pull that data, and then plug it in my Excel spreadsheet. I got as far as I was writing a code, um, downloaded this program called Python. And a lot of people know about Python. I guess it does that. Dude, I did it 2 hours, but AI was pretty cool. I mean, they were
yeah,
trying to train me, and they were very, oh, I'm sorry, that didn't work. Oh, this is the problem. Okay, let's try this. I mean, they didn't want to give up. I gave up because I was
yeah,
just like 2 hours later. I'm like, I could have already went through this many leads. Like, stop, just do this.
yeah.
But yeah, I want to figure a way to use it more on that end. And then as far as responding, some of the AI voice is pretty freaking cool. Have you listened to any of that stuff?
Yeah, I have.
Pretty
I don't
neat.
know. I'm not in,
So
I'm not
I,
ready for it yet.
so I really want to find a way to use. I think it's gonna be really useful for sure on the admin side, like doing
Okay.
list or comping and stuff. I think it'd be super useful for that because then you have to pay a VA. And now they have a thing. Real quick, Training is working on something, or someone mentioned something about you can actually buy an AI agent. It costs you like $5,000, but you buy
Yeah,
this.
I've heard that.
That's
I've heard that.
crazy, dude. That
Yeah,
would be insane. That would be pretty
yeah,
cool because you have them for life, and now they can do whatever. You can train them. You can train them, do whatever you want to. Use AI to train him or whatever. I don't know. It'd be freaking
yeah,
cool. I mean, period.
yeah. I
Anyways,
can't wait. I can't wait for that.
yeah. But
Things
you
home.
still gotta have, the interaction like this and stuff like that.
Oh God,
But
we're not there yet. We're not even there yet. It's gonna be
well,
nice.
yeah. I mean, Pace was talking about how they had some stuff where the seller was talking to the AI and they got better results. But I don't know. Anyways, yeah, guys, maybe we'll talk about that when we get some more information. I don't have a bunch of information yet about it, but I do want to talk more about that. And then we'll talk about the other topic we were talking about. So, guys, check us out. Check me out at Jesse Davis REI on Instagram, Jesse Scott Davis on Facebook. Go to our website, thegoldenticketpodcast.com. You got a forum there if you have deals, you want us to look at them, or
I would
or
love
a
to look at them.
JV.
Sure,
We'll JV with them.
all day.
Um, and if you want to be a guest on our show,
Come
there's
on,
a forum there too. So, and Jesse Davis out.
Jason Carroll out. Jesse Davis. I'm out of here.
Alrighty, you too, buddy. I'll check you next time. Check you later.